Hi there, fellow scratchers and coders and programmers and everyone who follow this channel. You're on Knowledge for All YouTube channel, and we are continuing our free Scratch tutorials. In this one we are going to keep on with explaining Scratch blocks, and to be more precise, we are going to explain Scratch block named move 10 steps or move some number of steps which you will choose. Okay, so let's get to Scratch to explain this further. Okay, so in the previous episodes we have defined a couple of blocks into our Scratch game, into our program, and those were events blocks. Those were yellow blocks which are on your left side, and we have defined one for when green flag is clicked, that means when the game starts, then the one for when G key is pressed to grow the cat on the stage, then one for when S key is pressed to shrink the cat when pressed, and when the cat is clicked, she will meow. She will start the sound meow, and we added some more to change size and say hello just to show how it works. Okay, great. I will stop it now. It all works, but I will change my size of the cat to 100, which is its normal size, default size, so we can start again from how it looked in beginning. And in this video we are going to learn, as we said before, this move steps block, which is stationed in motion blocks. So click on the blue circle on your left side, on your left column, which says motion, and first from above the first block is move block. We need that one, so pick the one which says move 10 steps, and before we use it and explaining it, just it will be best for you just to think a couple of seconds what this block says to you, and what do you think it will do to our player, our character on the screen. So this block is very simple. It says move 10 steps, so it will probably move this cat. We don't know where it will move it, maybe up, maybe down, maybe left, maybe right. So we will test it now, and let's detach this say hello block and snap this move 10 steps into when the green flag clicked, just to see what will happen. Okay, cool. So this works, and it's very simple. It moves 10 steps, that means 10 pixels to the right. So our cat was moved 10 steps to the right when we clicked green flag. Okay, let's do it again. Cool. But as we are just witnessing here, it's not very smart to put this block into when green flag clicked event. Why? Because it's just not useful. Green flag clicked is used only once to start your game, so you're not going to start your game to move the cat, start your game to move the cats, and so on and so on. It doesn't make sense. It's not very productive and sane. So instead of attaching it to this green flag clicked, we are going to use it much smarter. So let's think about how this command, how this block works in other games. For example, in some platformer games or some games you want to make, like Super Mario or Zelda or something like that. Just stop and think for a few seconds how in those games when Super Mario or some kind of player character moves to the left or the right. It moves to the left or the right when you press the left or the right arrow on your keyboard, right? So let's try to find that one. That one we used before. That was event block, and it was used before for our purpose to change the size of the cat. It's here when key is pressed, but we have to find the arrow. Yeah, it's here. Cool. So just find this same block when key is pressed. It's yellow, so it means it's in your events block group, and it's second from above. Drag it and drop it here, and instead of when space key pressed, we need when left or right arrow is pressed. Right arrow, because cat will move to the right. Yeah. Okay, I attached now the move 10 steps blocks to the when the right arrow key pressed event block. And let's see, in our game I'm going to press the right arrow now and the cat moves. Cool. I can I can press the right arrow, then make pause as much as I want, 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, then press again and it will move. Scratch listens to these commands 24/7 all the time, so it will respond every time I press the right arrow. And when I hold the right arrow, it will move continually, like faster and more natural. But what's the problem now? The problem now is when we come to the limit of the screen, we cannot move any more further, and that's cool. That's even Scratch helping us not to lose the cat. It could go who knows where to the right, so it stops there. But the problem is we cannot move to the left. I press the left button, nothing happens. And is that normal? Yes, it is. We didn't say here in our code, we didn't say never ever what to Scratch what to do when we press this left arrow. So let's move this cat to the left by dragging it and stop it with the red button. And I now want to make it move to the left when I press the left arrow key. Okay, so I know from the last few moments, I know where it is the block which I need to do it. The first one is when space key pressed and we have the left arrow there. Okay, but I have a problem now with this move 10 steps. If I use the same one and I press the left, it also goes to right. So no, that's not it. That must be some kind of solution there, but we still have nothing useful here. Okay, so let's think about there is some catch here for you if you're really young and don't know mathematics and don't like mathematics. You will just have to learn it by copying what I do. But if you started some kind of elementary school or something like that and have math in your classes, you probably know that you have heard something of coordinate system. We will explain it in some of our further lessons, but for now you have probably heard for positive and negative numbers and what they do and how they behave. What that means for you which are not introduced to negative numbers, that means that for every number in math there is his negative counterpart, like his mirror version, which means if we have 10 here, there is also some number called -10 or -10, and it is defined by just adding minus before the 10. So I will add now minus before the 10, but in the left arrow key pressed block, and see what happens. Oh cool, so now it works. So when I press the right, cat moves 10 steps. When I press the left key arrow, it moves to the left. Okay, this is great. What I have problems here, I have problems with the size of the cat. I have to resize it to 100, and cat grew because because I clicked on it. I will delete this block, change size by 10 when this sprite is clicked, and say hello also. I don't like it anymore. If you like it, just leave it alone. I don't like it because I will probably drag and move cat left and right. But other than that, cat works now in terms of control to the left and the right when we press the right and left arrow keys, which we wanted to do. So now our little game starts to come into some decent shape. Something is moving, something is becoming interactive live, and it looks cool. Also, I will show you just few little tips and experiments for you to try at your own. But for now, it looks really good and nice, very simple, but it works. That's most important. Few more things to accent here. Yeah, as I said before, all of those blocks which we have put, I zoomed them out purposely to see how many of them we have. All of those blocks, 1 2 3 4 5 6, Scratch is listening to them all the time, 24/7. So even if we never use the left arrow key, even if we never pressed it, Scratch will listen to it, because we have defined it here in our code window, in our program window. Same goes for this one block, same goes for this one, and so on for every block which we made here. So even if we don't use them, Scratch will listen to them and react in the right way, in defined way. Just so just to be aware of that, not to go crazy here and define some things which you don't need or you want to use in your game, because you're going to save Scratch some memory and some of his hard work and thinking, and your code will look clean. So we will see in our later programming how we are going to delete some code, add new, and so on, but just keep it neat and small as possible. Second thing which I wanted to show here is, why did we choose 10 steps here in motion event, move 10 steps? It was there by default. Does it have to be 10 or so on? No, it doesn't have to be 10. You can tweak it to your needs as much as you need or want it. You can go crazy on it, or if instead of 10 step I could go 1 step to the right. So we see that Cats now moves much more smoothly but much more slowly, and so on. And instead of 10 I could I could type 50 steps. Let's see what happens now. Wow, now it goes much in bigger chunks, in bigger jumps. Let's go 100 steps. Yeah, it jumps very fast now in 3 or 4, in 4 or 5. Let's see how much steps do we need to go from one end to the other. 1 2 3 4 5. In 5 steps you go from one to the second, from one end to another. So you can go crazy as much as you want, or you can change it as much as you need for your game to tweak it, to make it fit your needs. So don't be afraid to change it if you need it. But for now on, we are going to keep it like that. 10 steps is okay for now. And one more thing to show is, again, which I showed before, but just to relax you from being afraid of programming and coding and changing things on your own. For example, I will now click on this change size by 10, duplicate that block and snap it below the move 10 steps, and I will duplicate this one, change size by -10, and I will duplicate. So what, and the question is, what will happen now when I press the right key and when I press the left key? You can guess it probably by just reading those blocks here, those code blocks here. It's not difficult, but let's that's a good experiment, and to see how it all works, and to come with new ideas for your game. So you can stop or pause your reader here to see if you can get it out, if you can understand it without testing it. But I will test it now, and now I think that when I press the right key, cat will move and to the right and grow, and when I press the left key, it will move to the left and shrink. And yes, it looks like that. It looks like zooming actually, which is cool. So you can see how you can code zooming into your game. Like, we have coded zooming accidentally, and we can use it. Oh, this looks really crazy when it goes. How low can you shrink? Anyway, this looks like zooming, which is great, so you can use it in some of your games. Zoom in and zoom out. Cool. I don't need it for my game now. I will just delete these blocks. So on changing size, I will change my size of the change the size of my cat on 100, put it in the middle of our stage, and that's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope it didn't turn out too long, and I apologize because I didn't shoot any more videos in in a period before, and because I made a pause too long for learning experience. But for now on, I will going to shoot more videos and expect more Scratch tutorials soon. Okay, that's it for now. Bye, and keep learning and continue learning and experimenting with Scratch and other software on your. Bye.